Okay guys, just going to get in early once again and do the preview for Launceston on Wednesday night. Always do my form early, just find that you sort of tend to trust your own judgment, and whilst you always try not to let others' opinions impact you, it's no doubt that some sort of subliminal amounts get in, so always recommend doing it early. And that also allows you, if there's rain and things like that, you've got that residual knowledge about the meeting, that it's easier to adapt down the track if necessary. But anyway, 7 races, rail out 7 metres. Says soft 5. I think it's actually meant to be 27 degrees in Launceston for the next 2 days, so I'll believe that when I see it. But if that's the case, we might even be looking at a good rated track, and with the rail out 7 metres, you imagine you'd probably have to be pretty handy. So, but yeah, sort of difficult to predict the pattern though. But anyway, the first is the typical really tough, large field. Class 1, you've got 3 or 4 last start winners, and also some other horses who are consistent in this grade. Always tough to go from the maiden to class 1 at the next start, but the way that Mr. Songman did it last time suggests it certainly wouldn't surprise at all. Ran time that was comparable with the class 2 and benchmark 68 on the same night. Only query with him was 3 or 4 of them out of the race decide to go out into the quicksand area, and was he flattered a little bit? Maybe. Price may be a little bit reflective, but the other thing to take into account from that as well is that out of the race, I'll just actually click on the form, this one here, you can see here we've got Woohoo won the, what's it called, Hotham at Ballarat. Nita Margarita came out and won, and Snippety Cat ran 3rd, and all 3 of those went out into the no-go zone. So that's what I'm just saying about, whilst the form stacks up, it's probably also flattered a little bit by the margins, so just be a bit wary. Mr. West, I think the saddle slipped when he actually won on debut and beat Flick Picks. He was also in that Mr. Songwan race, so plenty of merit in his debut win, and probably had about 7 or 8 weeks, at least 6 since that run. And then we've got Going Purple, well-deserved win last time, showed a lot more early toe. Got ever consistent Wesley Hayes, drawn barrier 1. GG's Cats had every conceivable last time, but you can see it's just ultra consistent. And GG Rock and Run, it always looked like he was going to make a horse as a 2-year-old last time in, and the trial was very good. So I just think in a very tough race, there's probably going to be 7 or 8 winners come out of it, I'd imagine. Even GG Pure Blonde was good against the pattern the other day. I might just have something small, GG Rock and Run. I think it's probably going to be better over 14 and 1600, but first up might be the go. Second, also over the 1200. Probably look to be 4 major chances here. You've got the ultra consistent I Am the Dude, who's been brave in defeat these past couple. Shaborn Star hit the line well behind Mr. Songman there last time. The only thing about that, he was in the fast zone, and if a couple didn't go wide, he probably won 6th or 7th, and you're probably getting a far better price. So I just think he might be poor value, even though he's obviously going to run well. Beautiful Boy, he trialled like a really good horse the other day, certainly passed the eye test. The only, if you're looking for negatives from it, what did he beat? He might have sort of beaten up on camels, for lack of a better description, and Clean Achiever. I'm almost needed therapy after its last run, when I was on for a decent 4-figure result and got done on the line after think it sort of touched 101 in the run. Yeah, so we might just... The one thing about Beautiful Boy's trial, look, the last one was super impressive. He could have won by miles if he wanted to, but they were unraced horses and you just don't know how good he was. But if we go back to the trial in March this year, even though it's 6 or 7 months ago, Jubilant's a good record. City of Dreams came out of the trial and was backed off the map and bolted in. I think the fourth horse was Gaznia from memory, who had good form around Cups time last year. You know, so it's a pretty red hot trial, and he went as good as any of them in that trial. So I'm actually happy to put him on top. So Clean Achiever, even though the pattern did suit, it was on speed, dominated night. Nothing came wide all night, and she was 3 deep, no cover the entire, and was never closer than 3 deep the trip. So she'll run very well. As you said, the also third we'll throw in I'm the Dude, and for fourth we'll go with the obvious Inchaborn Star, but just prepared to take the punt on Beautiful Boy, but Clean Achiever, I'm, as I said, still having nightmares. A third, really struggled this race. There's a ton of speed in it. I didn't mind the return of GG's Queenie. She only knocked up the last 100 metres last time. Draws well. The only concern I have with her is, you'd imagine she's probably going to cop pressure here, and the last 100 metres, I think she's probably more 1,000, 1,100 metre type, but she's definitely going to look the winner, I'd imagine, on the turn. Ross Over, good win last time, did get a few favours in the run. Goes up in grade, up in weight, but probably in a race with speed doesn't look the best of the run-on horses. But keep going back to GG's Queenie, but backing is another thing, so we might leave that one alone. The fourth, over the mile, got the Austrian Oak and GG Black Prince look clearly the ones on exposed ability. They both get back and run on, and horses like that can tend to, sort of send you broke. Just with the claim, the Austrian Oak, you've got to have him right in the mix. GG Black Prince, obviously the race pattern didn't do him any favours last week, but geez, you would have liked him to have done a bit more. The sectionals weren't terrible, and his run wasn't as bad as it looked once you took the pattern into account, but crikey, you still would have seen him like to run past a few. They looked sort of, as I mentioned, like clear class edge over the rest, those two, but Malachite Quest's one who will race on speed. The claim carries no weight, looks like it'll run this trip, so if I was to have a bet in the race, I'll probably have something more place than win Malachite Quest. So definitely not in the same class as the other two, but with the weight, race on speed making its own luck, you'd might be able to sneak a break on them. And Shiborn Delacca is another one who wasn't too bad when it resumed. The fifth, not too much between these horses. They tend to race one another every week, and there's probably a couple of lengths between them. I'm actually pretty keen on Gladstone this week. He said there's a possibility the track's going to be upgraded, and whilst he handles most types of ground, you see his good track records as anything, so you can see like he's yet to win in 12 soft and heavy track runs, and all 7 of his wins have been on good surfaces. And in addition to that, you've got superior wet trackers here in Step the Pedal, Box of Frogs. So I just think, actually the one thing I just whilst I'm at it, if we just, the one with the new website, I've noticed here, if we go and click on like Gladstone's form, the 4th of October meeting from Launceston isn't actually hasn't loaded on for the form. It's a bit of an issue. So I've got the last race of Gladstone up here on the Sky site.
Ready. Gladstone.
So he's the grey horse. So he jumps in front and he's a dead set lead. He's surprisingly handed up the front here. So he just keeps trucking at the same speed. If we just sort of go ahead, like on the turn here, he looks like he's going to run last. And just keep an eye on his last 200 metres. Yeah, you can see GG Top Notch gave him windburn on the turn, and he's sort of run past her again late. She'd actually get galloped on in the run, but you see, look, he's as strong as anything on the line there. You got Step the Pedal out here, Vandermeer getting through, GG Top Notch. Like they're all in this race. I think Magnassa. So you see, like all those horses there, they're all in this race. So what I mean about there's nothing between them. He's going to be on speed, making his own luck. It's not going to be pretty, so he'll be hard ridden a fair way out, but they might be able to get to him, but getting past him's another thing. So very happy to be on Gladstone, as I do think he'll take up the running this time. The 6th, a lot will depend here on how the track's playing. Just work through them. Like Century Duty enjoyed a soft trip last time, boxed on okay. Valgrande was a lot better than the 9th reads on paper when it resumed. Bedrock Dreams was super last time. Sparrienta was in the same race and went, almost as well. Axion, all 3 runs in Tasmania have been super. Talation always hits the line. Cosmic Angel with the claim gets in very well despite that tricky gate. So the 3 I'll keep going back to here are Bedrock Dreams, Axion and Cosmic Angel. Was to pick one, I probably will go Bedrock Dreams, but it's probably a price dependent race, like most of them obviously, but yeah, just like the way he hit the line, and the 1400 looks right up his alley. And the last, ton of speed here. Apriano, Kyogle Sun, top 3 all go forward. Happy Halloween, CGM. So we go through them. Like I can see, like by the pound, he was good. He was drawing the outside, speed underneath. Happy Halloween's actually the one I like. Hasn't drawn ideally itself, but I can see it just positing up 4th or 5th. Just tracking the leaders. Trial was actually very good. Doesn't, if you just sort of, I think it's it here. So I'll just wait for it to load. So here he is here. So here we've got GG's Jet. Like how the race. These are the best David class sprinters in the state. And here the race here we've got in the open sprint last week. These horses here ran 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Happy Halloween's boxing on okay up the inside. Ran 4th in the trial. Got beaten 5 lengths. They ran their last 633 seconds in this trial, and he was just as far behind the leader at the finish as he was at the 600. So the sectionals were super, and he goes from like chasing home the best sprinters in the state there back into a benchmark 68. So very happy to be on. GG Styles are super consistent, speed on, draws well. He's you imagine he's going to run 4th at worst again. But just happy to be on Happy Halloween. Actually, just when is Halloween? I think it's 31st of October, so it might be a fortnight early. But yeah, so they're the 2 I've settled on in tough card. Gladstone in the 5th and Happy Halloween in the last. And let's run through the other races. Small each way, GG Rock and Run in race 1. Race 2, hopefully I can back both Beautiful Boy and Clean Achiever, but the race does fall away pretty quickly. If Lovely Lady wins, I'll be comatose. The 3rd, I said GG's Queenie, it's not a race I want to get involved in. The 4th, More Place Than Win, Malachite Quest. Gladstone for plenty in the 6th. Bedrock Dreams in the 6th, and come home with Happy Halloween. But anyway, guys, that's the quick wrap up of the meeting. Be interesting if the warm weather does come. Might make it a bit tricky, as we haven't had good track racing in Tassie for a long time. So anyway, but let's hope it's a sign of things to come. It does make doing form a bit easier when you know that they're going to race with a certain pattern. So hopefully the good weather stays with us. So until next time, we'll leave it there, and hopefully we've found a couple. Cheers.